our second lesson here of videos to help someone develop their psychic ability in reading the tarot cards. The first lesson we told you, pick out your cards, find your silk scarf, and sleep with them under your pillow. This can take months for you to, once you get through all of it, looking at each card, trying to come up with your own interpretation of what that imagery means to you. I suggest that you get some type of a special book and you start taking notes perhaps of what some of these images mean for you. Now, there are many different layouts that are available, but we're going to use the classic one that's worked very well for me. If you ever need to get more in depth, you can lay off of that. But it's called the Celtic Cross, or I call it the Psychic Tree, and it's a 10-card spread. You will see, I'm going to show you the way that I do it. You'll see other layouts that you can buy on these handouts you can have. Sometimes they'll 1, 2, 3, the order may change slightly. But once you come to grips with one that you're comfortable with, stick with it, and then that one will work for you. What we do is we start with our client and we have them ask a question. Yes or no questions aren't going to work. We want to focus them down into one topic. If it's going to be love, career, health, generally it's about love. The best way that you can really help someone is, what would be the result for me if I pursued this venue? Oftentimes when people come to you for a reading, it's because they're at a crossroads, they're trying to make a decision, they're confused. So let's say someone's having, they're wondering if they should stay with their boyfriend. He's done some things that haven't been copacetic for her or him, and she or he wants to know what would be the outcome if I left this relationship. That's a good basis for starting a reading. So what you would have the individual do is you give them the cards and you instruct them to close their eyes and play a motion picture in their mind. And while they are doing this, and while you're actually instructing them rather, you are shaking or moving the cards. So I'm going to presuppose that I have a client here and I would be looking at them, shuffling the cards. While I'm talking to them, I say, what I'd like you to do is close your eyes and think about what your relationship would be like if you left such and such. I'd like you to think about when you first met this individual, how happy you were. At that time, you had dreams, you had expectations, you saw yourself perhaps married to him, whatever those expectations or positive dreams were. I would like you to play that as well. During the course of your relationship, you also had some red flags or some things that didn't set well for you. I'd like you also to go through that. So play this motion picture through your mind, some of the good things that have happened and some of the really bad things, up to the point that you are at right now. I'd like you to then project what you see, how you see yourself perhaps leaving this individual, and then also fork off and see just what you might think if you stay in the relationship. When you're finished with that thought process, I'd like you to just slowly close your eyes and say, what do I need to know? At that point, I hand the cards to the client. Now what is happening here while I'm shuffling, I'm connecting psychically with the individual. And this is a very, very important part of the cards are already being charged towards this individual. Very important step. Oftentimes, give the individual the cards. What I do is, we haven't gotten to this part, I have another set of cards that I work with, that I put on top of the cards. When I give them those cards, I grab my other set of cards, which we'll talk about in another reading. This isn't them. But while they're shuffling and playing that motion picture in their mind, I'm shuffling my secondary deck. It's not the Rider-Waite. It's called the Symbion. And I'm connected with them. I close my eyes. and as long as it takes for them to shuffle. Now you'll find that some do this. Okay, that's fine. Others, I'm not kidding you, I think I've sat a half an hour. One thing that you can obviously immediately tell from that is they really think about this a lot. They're very thoughtful individuals. They're trying very hard. They use their head more maybe than their heart. So when they're finished with that process, you instruct them to put the cards down with their left hand and ask them to cut them into 3 piles. I do ask that they say the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Now, for years and years I instructed everyone to say that out loud. Only recently, for individuals who I've been concerned that might be offensive, I will just say it to myself and I'll touch the cards afterwards. Now the cards have been cut in 3 with the left hand by the person who's having their cards read. Now what I do next is I go into a state of prayer and I evoke the 4 angels. I evoke Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. And I visualize the giant angels with their wings coming over, and they are engulfing me. And I say a prayer, please give me, through me, that I may speak for the highest good for this individual. After I've said my prayer and I am under the archangel's protection, then I randomly, I don't think, but with my left hand, I choose how I'm going to pick up the cards. And now they are charged and ready to go. Okay, we'll see you on number 3. Thanks.